Ever stop and think about how our bodies get rid of all that waste without us, shriveling up like a raisin? Well, the secret is this absolutely brilliant piece of biological engineering tucked away in our kidneys, an amazing mechanism designed to conserve every single drop of water.
I mean, think about it. It's a huge problem every land-based mammal has to solve. We've got to filter our blood, get rid of toxins, but at the same time, we need to hold on to all the precious water we can. So how on earth does our body pull off this incredible balancing act?
So, the answer? It all comes down to our pretty unique ability to produce concentrated urine. We've basically evolved this super sophisticated system to squeeze water back into the body right before waste gets kicked out. It's a process that is just remarkably efficient. Okay, so right at the heart of this whole system, you've got two key structures. You can think of them as the main characters in our story today, Henle's loop and the vasa recta. The way they're arranged and how they work together, that's the secret to the whole thing. First up, we have Henle's loop. It's basically this long U-shaped tube that dips way deep into the kidney. Its whole job is to carry what's called the filtrate, that's essentially pre-urine, on a round trip down into the kidney's core and then right back up again. And wrapped all around this loop is our second player, the vasa recta. This is a whole network of tiny blood vessels. And here's the part you really got to remember. The blood in the vasa recta flows in the opposite direction to the filtrate in Henle's loop. This is absolutely key. And that right there brings us to the core principle of this entire mechanism. Because the flow is in opposite directions, it forms what's known as a counter current. And believe it or not, this isn't the only place it's happening. So you might be asking, why all this fuss about countercurrents? Well, its whole purpose is to build something called a concentration gradient. What that means is the kidney systematically makes its own internal environment saltier and more concentrated the deeper you go. And listen, the power of this gradient is just staggering. To put it in numbers, in the outer part of the kidney, the cortex, the concentration is about 300. But as you go deep into the inner medulla, it skyrockets to 1200. We're talking a four-fold increase. It creates this intensely salty, concentrated environment down there. Which, of course, leads to the obvious question, right? How in the world does the body create such a steep gradient? What's it using to make the deep kidney so incredibly salty? Well, it really comes down to just two key ingredients. Good old NaCl, salt, and a waste product we all make, urea. Yep, those two are the workhorses that build this whole gradient. So how does it work? It's like this really intricate dance. First, as the pre-urine moves up the Henle's loop, salt gets actively pumped out into the surrounding tissue. Then a little bit of urea is allowed to sneak into the loop. And finally, a bit further down the pipeline, in what's called the collecting tubule, that same urea gets transported back out again. It's this constant recycling of salt and urea that builds up that incredible concentration deep inside the kidney. All right, so the kidney has done all this hard work. It's built this intensely concentrated zone deep in its core. What's the payoff? Well, now it's time to use that gradient to save a ton of water. So as the almost finished urine passes through the collecting tubule on its way out, it has to travel right through that super salty urea-packed zone we just built. And from there, it's just basic physics. The insane concentration of solutes outside the tube acts like a powerful magnet for water, just pulling it straight out by osmosis and sending it right back into the body where we need it. And all of that leads us to the final, pretty remarkable result. After all of this filtering and pumping and passive transport, the body has successfully reabsorbed a massive amount of water, leaving behind only the concentrated waste. But just how efficient are we talking? Well, it's incredible, really. Our kidneys can produce urine that is nearly 4 times more concentrated than the fluid that was first filtered out of our blood. That is a huge amount of water being saved. And this ability to make our urine almost 4 times more concentrated than our own blood plasma, that's not just some neat party trick our body does. It is a critical survival adaptation that allows mammals, like us, to thrive on dry land.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? If our bodies have perfected a system this complex and this elegant just to save water, what other hidden engineering marvels are ticking away inside us right now without us even knowing it?